start off with the light in the centre, the highlight, working light to dark. Next colour is the ivory, and this goes in the white of the eye. Now here I'm putting in a very popular 187, which is like a ready ochre. And this goes in raw on the iris of our chimp. And in the centre, in the pupil, we need another base colour, which is burnt sienna, or 283 in our current range of pastel pencils. Faber-Castell, Pitt, my favourites. You notice that all my points are sharp here. That is important in a detailed area like this. Now all the base colours I put on, but now what we've got now is to build up on those base colours. So we start off by using the same colour that we used in here on our top of our ivory. Now here, this is the next colour, and we use this on top of the lighter ochre, ready ochre that we put in, and the same on this side. Now this is when I'm going to change it slightly. I'm just going to put the colour in. I'm not going to do any shading on this one. I will correct it at the end, but at this moment of time we don't want to do that. Now in the pupil we had the second colour here. This is a darker brown. All these colours are compatible with each other. They all go nicely, and you can start to see the eyes forming already. And I'll leave that there, and then some of the darker colour. This is the darker colour we use for pupil to start with. Put a little bit in there, and then finally here a little bit of black goes in the pupil. Now to all intents and purposes that eye looks pretty good to you, I would say, and all we have to do now is to blend it out using first of all the ivory pencil, and then the ochre, burnt sienna or 283 that we used, and this makes such a difference, like that, coming round there like that. Okay, and now on the darker front we use the dark brown, just to make that just a little stronger. And doesn't that look good now? But there's something very, very important missing, and I'll show you what that is in a tick. Now a little bit of black. I don't want too much of this, just to throw it. I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time with a slight subtle difference. Here I'm putting in this is the ochre, ready ochre. But I'm just leaving a little bit of a gap there. Now here we're using that burnt sienna, and again I'm just leaving a little bit of a hole there. I'm coming in with it. So far you can't see any difference, you say. You'd be absolutely right. There's not a lot, but that's, remember, these are subtle differences we're doing now. Okay, now we now bring back the ochre. That was the brown I put on there. This is the ivory, and that's going to give us a very subtle shading. Look at the difference already. Can you see, folks? These are subtle differences we're doing now. Okay, now we now bring back the ochre, that was the brown I put on there. This is the ivory, and that's going to give us a very subtle shading. Look at the difference already. Can you see, folks? This is the light, very popular ready ochre. You see, what colour? One colour is blending another colour in. Okay, well, that's pretty obvious, I know, but that's what we're doing. Blending each other. Okay, and again, you can't see a great deal of difference. The black goes in now on top of the brown. It's got to be filled in the tear duct area and round there, like that. And then the brown, like that. Now, all this is just to show you the difference between the two eyes, but I still follow the same procedure, but the subtle differences are coming in now. This one, now here you see how flat that is. Well, I'm going to use the brown now, just to blend out like that. All I'm doing basically is lifting the pencil slightly off, and you can see immediately, I hope at least you can see the difference between those two now. Well, of course you can now. We have to do the same thing with this. Now we start off by making sure we've got a good base colour. This is with the 187. Okay, because we're going in with some big guns now. This one, now this is a fairly rich colour and a very dark colour, but actually on top of the colours that we've already put on, it's weakened quite a lot. Look at the difference between these two now. Okay, a little bit there. Now the biggest difference now will be on the black. Now because we've got that nice and dark there, we can now bring the black in. Wow, that's making a bit of difference, isn't it? Like that. Not too much, just but be careful with this. And we can also just make it just a little bit more. We don't want too much around there, just enough to give us a lift, like that. Good, good. Now we bring back the ochre again, and we just fade that in. The secret is to make it look as though it's a glassy eye, like that. And now with our ivory, come in here, and again use the ivory. Use the blend in process to create it. Now I hope that you can see this one. Just put a little touch of white in here, just a little. And over here I'm going to use another colour. Just bring another colour in, because that colour is just a little richer. Same basically tone, but it's just a little richer. It gives us a little bit more, and then on top of that, just a merest hint of ivory, just to lighten it up. And we should now see a big difference between those two. Speed this up, because I've already showed you once, like that. And with our... But you can see the difference, and you can replay this again to see that subtle difference. It's what I'm trying to teach you, the subtle difference between the two. They look good, but they don't look great. But they do now. Quite happy. A little bit of that rich, no, that's the wrong one, that's the right one. Rich colour in the middle. Blended it in. There we get a difference. And just a little bit of black up here. You're kind of almost losing that. There you go. A little bit of extra weight. A little bit of white, just a touch in there to catch. And a little bit of ivory, just there to catch. And our final little crunch, oh, just a little bit more around here. I mean, I can go on forever here. I don't want to spend too long. Now what we've got to do is make it, flick the eye back like that. Wow. Right there. And there we are. The secret of the glassy eye.